Well, I'm in the courtyard of the Elysee Palace. You might just be able to make out behind me the Republican Guard is on the steps of the Elysee Palace. We are waiting for Patrice Talon, the president of Benin, to arrive. He will be here very shortly. He will be greeted on the steps just behind me by the French President Emmanuel Macron. The pair will then head inside for the signature, the last signature that's needed for these 26 artifacts to make their way back home to Benin. Inside, the culture ministers of Benin and France will sign the Transfer Act. Basically, the documents that's needed for these artifacts to go back home to Benin. They are expected to get there tomorrow, and 26 artifacts, as you mentioned. We've got palace doors from the royal palaces of Abomey. We've got statues. These are really important artifacts. They're not just bits of artworks that stood the test of time. These are historically and culturally important to the people of Benin.
How did this all come about, Claire?
Well, 6 months after he was elected president, Emmanuel Macron made an important speech to students in Burkina Faso. And he said that he just couldn't accept that so much of African heritage was in France. So that really set in motion what we're seeing today. He was very keen and really insisted on the fact that he wanted the people of Benin to be able to access their culture, particularly young people, to be able to access their culture at home, not have to come across to France in order to access part of their cultural heritage. So 4 years later, we are seeing these 26 cultural relics heading back home to Benin. They will be stored first in the city of Ouidah, which is on the port, which is where they left from more than 130 years ago, and they will eventually end up in a museum in the town of Abomey, which was the capital of the kingdom of Dahomey. The museum there is still being built. France has funded 35 million euros for the construction of that museum so that the people of Benin can access their culture back home.